So this is part of a experiment in putting a cheap FPV plane in the air. I saw this little ELGAE camera and transmitter set, and thought I'd try it out. And as luck would have it, I was given an old Styrofoam Hobby King model seaplane, and it's got heaps of room in the front. I thought, oh well, I'll give it a go and whack it in. So this is what happened. I've installed an OSD in it, but unfortunately I don't seem to have zeroed the altitude on the ground. As you can see there, it's reading about 10 degrees higher than it actually is, which made for some interesting near contacts with the ground, because I was trying, I normally fly FPV at a fairly high altitude. This is the first time I've had a go at a little plane flying close to the ground. So the OSD is another cheap component. It's been reflashed with some software I found on RC groups, and it's not the quickest thing to refresh, but it gives you your ground speed, altitude, and battery levels, and home direction. And that little aeroplane in the middle is giving you the current direction of the model and where it is in relation to home. So it's quite good. So we're just flying around the field here. I'm trying to hang around at about 20 metres from the ground, but this was obviously a little bit closer than I thought, and I actually flew behind a ridge and started to lose video. The guys back at the in the pits had written the plane off. They said, Ken's put it in, but they were quite surprised to see it come back over the other side, heading for home, so that was good. So the stabiliser that I've got in it, the Turnigy F1000, limits the roll rate of the plane to under 45 degrees, which is why the turns are a little bit stunted. But the video is good. It's this is about midday, so the light's pretty good. It's a CMOS camera, and it does have a bit of trouble changing from light to dark. It's a lot slower than the CCD cameras I'm used to seeing, but nothing wrong with this. The not getting much video dropout at all. And as I said, I'm new to this game, so I'm being fairly conservative here, and wishing I could see around corners. So on this run I decided to take it out a little bit further, just to see if we start to get any breakdown. This is when I realised I'm actually not flying at 20 metres. I don't think that's 20 metres above the ground, judging by the shadow of the plane. So this is the gauntlet you've got to run to land. You've got a dam on one side and a plane eating tree on the other side. There's the flight box where I'm standing on the right. So I was quite happy with that little run out to the edge of the paddock, and I decided to go a bit further this time. The top of that mountain in the background is where I'm normally flying my FPV models, up at 800 metres to get over the top of that. So this, as I said, this is quite new to me. and the plane isn't the most responsive thing, so here we are going over the driveway to our neighbouring farmer, and I'm starting to think I'm going to hit this tree, and then I say, oh my god, power lines, did I just fly through those power lines? And yes, I did. So there's a bit of a miracle. And then there's fences to negotiate. So I was a little bit tense after that. So I decided I'd land it. So this is the first time I've landed a plane with the headset on. So I came with a nice long approach, and wasn't paying too much attention to the ground speed, and it got a bit low, and she stalled out on me, and I just managed to pull it up out of the deck. And here we are trying again, so a little bit more speed this time. Tried to keep it around 20 k's till we get to that dam, and then the plan is to cut power and let it settle down onto the strip. So unfortunately I'm coming in a bit high, and yes, I'm not quite sure what happened. I just stuffed the landing, but what more can I say? So it didn't do much damage. It knocked the styrofoam tail off, but that's a 10-minute job to glue back on. But as far as this video and camera is concerned, I'm quite impressed with it for the money, for 26 bucks. I've got a 500 milliwatt transmitter that I use that doesn't really give as good a picture in close as far as I can see. So I'll be testing out the range of this and seeing how far I can go with it. But yeah, it's looking pretty good so far.